Welcome to the C Word Podcast. I'm Samaj, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Don't let the name fool you. The C, as you will find, is all about you. What we desire to do here is create a conversation around my book, The C Word, and some of the principles behind it, to lead you, the seeker, on a journey. A journey of freedom. Freedom from limiting thoughts, borrowed beliefs, and false perceptions. A journey of self-truth. If you're already on a path, then it's to help bring clarity on the journey. I've walked the path. I can help you identify the walls you've built and the ruts that you're in, and give you some tools to create a new life. I'm a hands-on healer of energy and light, teacher of my own integrative flow technique. I'm a student of the universal law of one, and a certified life coach, helping you to get clear your direction. I'm called father, husband, grandfather, Sifu, and guru. I'm on this journey with you. We are one. My desire is to live this quote, which simply says, "The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see." Let's begin. Hey everybody. Welcome back to the C Word Podcast. I'm Samaj. In this final installment of All About the Cave, we're going to do what everyone does when you're reviewing information that's so ancient and life-altering. Especially if you decide to apply your life to these concepts. It's what we've done with every form of religion, every form of politics, and even every form of thought that's been passed down from one generation to another. And what we're going to do is speculate, guess what's next. We will not answer, but we will look at those two questions that inspired and motivated the two people in our story who broke away from the cave. What if and why? Let's begin. This is episode 6. I call it All About the Cave, the finale. So as you can see, I've already started to mislead you. How? By calling this the finale. There's no way in hell this is even close to an ending. And if you've been listening to this podcast from the beginning, you know that it's all because of two ever-changing factors. The one infinite creator is number one, flawed only by each individual's belief system. And number two, it's us, flawed by, freaking flawed, period. And not so much flawed as unique in the undeniable truth that we are each unique. And in my opinion, let me make that point abundantly clear, my opinion. As long as these two factors exist, whether you believe in them or not, there can nor will ever be an ending to this story. So what thoughts are you having? Let me tell you what I was thinking back when I came out of the cave. I was scared to think. I was literally questioning every thought I was thinking. Was that thought conditioned? Was my response to this particular situation something that I did because the shadow god said I had to? Everything became question-worthy. Nothing was going to be taken at face value. I wasn't becoming belligerent or rude or disrespectful. I just decided to look for truth in my own world values, in my spiritual life, in my understanding of how to relate to other human beings. And I wanted to really experience world values, world perspectives, not just my wide world of Fort Wayne, Indiana, but from the perspective of someone living the other side of my perspective. I mean, how crazy is it to poo-poo anything I've never taken the time to understand for myself? I was no longer going to be a sheeple. I wasn't going to have any wool pulled over my eyes. For me, to see what was going on outside the cave, I had to climb out of the cave. I couldn't just take somebody's word for it. And here's a reflection, I'm sorry. I'm amazed at the number of people I talk to that call themselves having a world view and find out that they've never left the little city they live in. Every concept that they have outside of their self-assigned cave is either pushed, poured, or siphoned into their limited truths. And they will talk about any situation and defend that situation like they know from where that truth came. People are amazing. So, what happened to our pair of hopeful explorers? What did they find when their eyes finally adjusted when they came out of the cave? Again, I'm doing some thinking out loud. Now, they could have crawled out to some place like Antarctica, which would have made it very, very desirable to crawl back in. In our world, that equals your comfort zone. And then how about not moving ahead because it's more comfortable where you are? And maybe that place was paradise. To us, maybe. And that determination would be based upon our own individual perspective of paradise. But what does paradise look like to someone who's never experienced it in any kind? I mean, all of this is new. And imagine this. Some of the things that they found, they had literally no concept or words to express what they were experiencing. Imagine how hard it would be to have to tell anyone else about this truth, this experience. They saw it, they felt it, and they know that it's real. And maybe you've said this before in your lifetime. Nobody back home's going to believe this. And you'd be right. Sometimes there may be a price to pay for your enlightenment. Are you willing to pay it? I'm hoping that as you listen to this, you're allowing your mind to skip forwards and backwards into your own illusion of life. I'm hoping you're asking questions. I mean, go deep. Like, why is grass called grass? Who saw it and named it so well that universally we call it grass? Okay, I get it. Who really gives a crap? Maybe you don't. But I venture to say that if you're listening, you've probably figured out that you might at least give a little bit of a shit, because it doesn't stop with the freaking grass. In some stories that are passed down over generations, the two people may have been Adam and Eve. The exception here is they were created outside of the cave with only a short list, right? Be fruitful and multiply, name all new animals, and don't eat off that most beautiful tree in the middle of the garden. Personally, I'm thinking they spend a hell of a lot of time just naming every animal. I guess time is all they had. Okay, look, you got me going now. Now, if Adam and Eve were, say, those two that left the cave, as far as we're told, they're the first two. And they were told all about the begots. Now, we've been told that they were the first two, right? And we were told all about the begots in the Bible. So, if Adam and Eve begot Cain and Abel, you know, the first murderer, also the first beef, if you will, between vegans and meat eaters. I get that. But after Adam and Eve, who did everybody else begot with? Somewhere in this equation, there's some unholy intermingling going on. I'm just saying. And then again, was it unholy then? Did the rules get changed someplace or sometime after, when things wasn't working out for some guy who had the power to make a law? Or did begot happening because it was by design? A matter of nature and simple attraction that happened between two people and they begot. And the tree. The tree, it was a trap. It was the bite that was heard around the world. That tree would have been like putting me in the middle of a lettuce forest and then showing me the brisket tree and telling me not to go touch it. There wouldn't have been no snake necessary. Anyway, I seriously hope you do have questions. I do hope that your questions move you to continue to seek. There are answers out there everywhere. And the best way to figure out which is the right answer for you is for you to learn to trust your spirit. And if you don't know about that, stick around, because there's so much more to say. When I come back, it's going to be more about what I found when I started seeking the answers to those kinds of questions. And I hope the same for you. So, please, this is, my commercial. I want you to use the links in the descriptions of this podcast. I'd like for you to get my book, The C Word. And go check me out at YouTube. And I'm the man at the top of the mountain. And you can go to my Great New You website because I'd really like to interact. Also, as part of episode 1, I told you that I am in fact a certified life coach. And I was trained by the best, Tony Robbins and Chloe Madonis and their team. So I've left 2 more links on this podcast for what I'm going to call connection calls. I have 30-minute connection calls by phone or Zoom and 1-hour personal coaching connections via phone or Zoom. And that's all to let you know that you don't have to seek out the answers or even just move forwards all by yourself. You don't have to be alone. And I know today we looked at a lot. We maybe opened up our minds to something. Possibilities maybe for some, changes maybe for others. We did an exercise in speculation. To me, it's the foundation of all we cannot truly explain, which makes life as we know it or express it an illusion that we can see from many perspectives and choose our own pictures, people, places, and things. Building it yourself, it can be scary, or it can be the best thing you've yet to do. Till next time, this is Samaj. I leave you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, and rejoice in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator. Namaste. That wraps it up for today's episode. I appreciate you all for listening and watching this podcast. It matters to me. If you'd like to go deeper on any topic, we have additional resources linked in the show notes. If you're getting value from this show or have feedback, feel free to reach out to me at samaj@agreatnewyou.com or by leaving us a rating here. Thanks for listening. Namaste.